Next up, we got Adam Strong, who's also doubling on the filming. And he does a great job, actually. It's amazing. Anyways, okay, here we go. Adam Strong has worn glasses since he was 4. Adam Strong is a high school digital arts teacher and a writer of short stories and poems. Adam Strong doesn't get much sleep. Adam Strong's work has appeared or is forthcoming in Our Portland Story, State of the Reunion, and Linden Avenue. Adam has 2 young children that make his jaw go make his jaw go funny when he sees them. I like that. Adam Strong is a proud member of Dangerous Writers in Portland, Oregon. Mr. Adam Strong, he's a good friend of ours, and we love him. Thank you for coming up.
Thanks, Brad. Thanks, Crush. Thank you, Donnie. I'm reading tonight from my novel, Bella Vista. Yeah. And I'll jump right in. It doesn't really need any introduction. I'm 6. It's in the middle of October afternoon. Mom and I are coming back home to pick up a suit for me for some school thing. 5 steps up to our walk up, 4 colors of leaves, shadows of the upcoming winter, sounds of laughter from around the block. Right on the 4th step is a bird lying there, flying with his face down like he just passed out. One of those birds I saw all over the neighborhood that summer, a cardinal, a bright red body, black wings, little orange nose. I reached my hand out to see if he was sleeping, but when I did, when I held my hand out and patted his back, all the mass in him was gone. Turned him over and his face was right there. Mom was behind me. Don't touch that thing, she said. It's disgusting. I'd seen dead animals before, but this was the first one I saw with his little eyes on me. Usually this little guy was so red, tuft of feathers on the top and his orange beak, but he had this shade to him. The color of a little bit of blood and a whole lot of water, a tea water red, and not just in his face, in his beak, or in the little wrinkles underneath his eyes, but it was in his body too. That shade of him was the last bit of light shining up through his skin. His little eyeballs stared off into nothing. That little guy lying there, he was my dead bird, Redbird. Once I saw a dead bird, Redbird, I saw his diluted shade everywhere. I'd be in the post office with Mom and that happy mailman guy with the big sideburns. I saw a dead bird in him too. I was at school and I had to pee. Mrs. Johnson was just on the other side of my desk, her short bob of hair, baby blue blouse, and my hand went up. She was helping another kid. His paper was worn thin from working on some math problem. There was an ache under my arm from having my hand up for so long. I coughed. I got her to turn around and see me. Jay, she said, can't you wait for a second? Her face was normally so sweet, but when she turned to look over at me, Deadbird Redbird came up right through her skin. Started out of my chest, the shortness of breath, the tremble in my voice, how she could so quickly turn into someone who was not alive. You never heard me, you never saw me, I said. It's like you're dead. Then I really saw her tea water shade, those beady eyes on me staring out towards nothing. Principal's office, she said, now. The principal's office had smelly orange carpet and stacks of highlights magazines, ABCs and 1, 2, 3s along the walls, and the principal came in and his hair was all combed to one side, and I know what had happened, the same thing that happened to all the kids that got sent to the principal's office. Mrs. Johnson had called him, and he took down some notes and wrote it on a yellow, pink, and white form and circled a few circles and checked a few check boxes. And he walked in, and there's his beard, and his tie undone, and the folder, and the yellow, pink, white form in his hand. And I knew he'd been reading about me calling my teacher dead. And his face, even the principal, had the same tea water blood shade as Deadbird Redbird. Jay, he said, why do you think your teacher's dead? And as much as I wanted to tell him I was seeing Deadbird everywhere, that I was doomed from as far as I could tell, all I felt was an empty sick in my stomach. The sweat from too many coats and the dry warm of the principal's office, the burn in my stomach, the burn in my throat, the crawl up right before I could do anything about it. That orange carpet we were on, and even when I stood up and ran down the hall to find a bathroom, he followed me. I didn't find a bathroom. It came up and right out of me there in the middle of the hallway, chunks of white and red all over the principal's panty loafers. That principal could have done what Dad would have done. Could have yelled and screamed, could have sent me away, but he didn't. The principal, his skin was still Deadbird Redbird, but I closed my eyes and I stood there, and he stood there too with my puke all over his shoe. Principal didn't say anything. He just put his arms around me and he held me there, with his arms around me and his beard and his tie all undone, and the smell of pencil shavings and burnt dust, and the two of us there in that hallway, and for a second it was enough. For as long as I could close my eyes, I could forget about Deadbird Redbird. How something so bright and alive could be so pale and dead. Thank you.